The package was supposed to be a simple delivery, but when Karen snatched it from my doorstep, she had no idea the USPS inspectors were watching her every move. Now, she's about to learn a hard lesson of the consequences of stealing, and I'll be there to see it all go down. It was supposed to be a routine delivery, just another day on the job. But as I watched Karen stride up to my doorstep and snatch the package right off my welcome mat, my blood began to boil. "Hey, that's mine," I shouted, rushing outside, but she just shot me a smug grin and hustled back to her car, package in hand. I stood there fuming, fists clenched, as she peeled out of the driveway. I should have called the police, but a part of me knew that would be a waste of time. Karen had been terrorizing our neighborhood for years, stealing packages and vandalizing property, and the cops never seemed to do anything about it. No, this time I was going to handle it myself. I had just received a valuable antique watch that I'd been planning to sell, and there was no way I was going to let Karen get away with it. I hopped in my car and tore off after her, weaving through traffic as I tried to keep her teal Honda Civic in sight. As we approached the highway, I noticed a USPS van a few cars behind us, its lights flashing. The postal inspectors must have been monitoring the situation the whole time. Perfect. Maybe they could help me catch the thief red-handed. I pulled up next to Karen's car at a red light, my heart pounding. "Pull over right now, Karen," I shouted. "The post office inspectors are right behind you." Karen's eyes went wide with panic as she glanced in her rearview mirror. For a moment, I thought she might actually stop. But then her expression hardened, and she floored the gas, blowing through the red light and narrowly missing oncoming traffic. The USPS van roared to life, its siren wailing as it pursued Karen down the highway. I gripped the steering wheel, adrenaline coursing through my veins. This was it, my chance to get justice. As Karen's car swerved recklessly through traffic, the postal inspectors stayed hot on her trail. I could barely keep up, but I wasn't about to lose sight of her now. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. Suddenly, Karen's car veered off the highway, taking a sharp exit onto a side street. The postal van followed closely behind, its siren piercing the air. I gunned my engine, determined not to let them lose her. The chase was on. Karen's car careened through the narrow streets, swerving around cars and pedestrians with reckless abandon. The postal van stayed hot on her trail, its siren blaring a desperate warning. I gripped the steering wheel, my knuckles whitening, as I struggled to keep up. My heart was pounding in my ears, adrenaline coursing through my veins. This was it, my chance to finally catch the neighborhood package thief in the act. Up ahead, I saw Karen's car lurch to the right, taking a sharp turn onto a side street. The postal van followed, its tires screeching in protest. I pressed the gas pedal to the floor, determined not to lose them. As we rounded the corner, I caught a glimpse of Karen's car in the distance, weaving through traffic with a desperate urgency. The postal inspectors were closing in, their siren blaring a high-pitched wail. Suddenly, Karen's car lurched to the left, careening across an intersection and nearly colliding with oncoming traffic. Horns blared, tires screeched, and my heart leaped into my throat as I watched in horror. But the postal van was right on her heels, its driver unflinching as they barreled through the intersection. I followed closely behind, my own car nearly clipping a passing minivan as I charged forward. Up ahead, I saw Karen's car swerve again, this time taking a sharp right turn down a narrow alley. The postal van followed, its larger size forcing it to slow down as it navigated the tight space. I gritted my teeth, pushing my car to its limits as I tried to keep the chase in sight. I couldn't let Karen get away, not this time. Not with my precious package in her hands. As we emerged from the alley, I saw Karen's car screech to a halt in front of a dead end. The postal van pulled up behind it, trapping her in. This was it, the moment of truth. Karen's car screeched to a halt at the dead end, trapped between the postal van and the brick wall behind her. I pulled up behind the van, my heart pounding in my chest. This was it, the moment of reckoning. After years of terrorizing our neighborhood, Karen was finally going to get what was coming to her. I watched as the two postal inspectors jumped out of their van, their faces set in determined expressions. They approached Karen's car, one of them shouting commands through a bullhorn. "Karen Simmons, you're under arrest for theft of U.S. mail. Step out of the vehicle with your hands up." Karen's eyes went wide with panic as she realized there was no way out. She clutched the package to her chest, her knuckles turning white. For a moment, I thought she might try to make a break for it, but then she slowly opened the car door and stepped out, her hands shaking. The inspectors moved in quickly, pinning her against the car and roughly cuffing her wrists behind her back. I watched with a sense of vindication as they read her Miranda rights, their voices stern and unyielding. As they led Karen to the back of the postal van, I stepped forward, my anger finally starting to subside. "I can't believe you actually got caught," I said, shaking my head in disbelief. Karen glared at me, her eyes filled with a mixture of fear and defiance. "This isn't over, you know," she spat. "I'll make you pay for this." I scoffed, feeling a surge of confidence. "I doubt that," I replied, my voice dripping with disdain. "You're the one who's going to be paying, Karen, and this time, there's no getting out of it." The postal inspectors shoved Karen into the back of the van, slamming the door shut behind her. I watched as they climbed into the driver's seat and pulled away, the siren blaring once more as they headed towards the police station. I let out a long, slow breath, feeling a sense of relief wash over me. Finally, after all these years, justice had been served. Karen Simmons was going to get what she deserved. But as I stood there, staring at the empty street, a nagging feeling of unease crept into the back of my mind. Something told me this wasn't the last I'd seen of Karen Simmons. The next few days passed in a blur as the news of Karen's arrest spread through the neighborhood. Neighbors who had once been too afraid to speak up against her were now coming forward, sharing their own stories of package thefts and vandalism. I found myself the center of attention, hailed as a hero for my role in bringing the notorious package thief of Elm Street to justice. Local news crews even showed up at my door, eager to interview the vigilant, who had helped the postal inspectors catch their elusive target. But despite the newfound attention, I couldn't shake the uneasy feeling that had been nagging at me since that fateful day. Something just didn't sit right. Karen had always been bold, even brazen, in her criminal activities. She had never shown any real fear of the consequences. So why had she panicked and fled so desperately when the postal inspectors showed up? I replayed the chase in my mind, trying to piece together the clues. The way she had gripped that package so tightly, as if it held some sort of deeply personal value. The pure terror that had flashed across her face when she realized she was trapped. It just didn't add up. And then it hit me. What if the package she had stolen wasn't just any ordinary delivery? What if it contained something far more valuable, something that Karen was willing to risk everything to protect? My heart raced as I considered the implications. If that was the case, then the postal inspectors might have just stumbled upon something much bigger than a simple package theft. And I, in my haste to see justice served, might have inadvertently become embroiled in a much darker and more dangerous web. I needed to find out more. I had to know what was really going on. Quickly, I grabbed my car keys and headed to the police station, determined to get some answers. Whatever was hiding in that package, I was going to get to the bottom of it. The police station was bustling with activity as I pushed through the front doors, my mind racing with questions. I approached the front desk, trying to keep my voice calm and steady. "Excuse me, I need to speak with someone about the package theft case from the other day, the one involving Karen Simmons." The officer behind the desk eyed me warily. "And who are you?" "My name is Alex Donovan. I was the one who spotted Karen and alerted the postal inspectors." The officer's eyes whitened slightly. "Ah, yes, we've heard about you. Well, come on back. The detective working the case is just finishing up an interview." He led me through a series of corridors until we reached a small interrogation room. The door was slightly ajar, and I could hear the muffled sounds of voices inside. Taking a deep breath, I pushed the door open and stepped inside. A middle-aged detective looked up, his brow furrowed. "Can I help you?" "Detective, my name is Alex Donovan. I was the one who called in the package theft the other day. I was hoping I could ask you a few questions about the case." The detective studied me for a moment, then gestured to the empty chair across the table. "Have a seat." I sat down, my hands trembling slightly. "Look, I can't shake the feeling that there's more to this than just a simple package theft." The way Karen reacted, it was like she was terrified of something. And the package she stole, it seemed to mean a lot to her. The detective leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. "You're not wrong, Mr. Donovan. This case has taken an unexpected turn." He paused, then continued. "The package Karen stole didn't contain anything of monetary value. In fact, it was an ordinary parcel containing a small, antique music box." My brow furrowed. A music box? But why would she risk everything to steal that? The detective shook his head. "That's what we're trying to figure out. According to the postal inspectors, the music box belonged to a deceased relative of Karen's. It had sentimental value, but nothing that would explain her desperate attempt to get it back." He leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. "Unless, of course, there's something about that music box that we're missing. Something that could be worth much more than its face value." I felt a chill run down my spine. "You think there's more to this than just a simple theft?" The detective nodded slowly. "I do. And I have a feeling you and I are about to uncover a much deeper mystery than either of us bargained for." The detective's words hung in the air, sending a shiver down my spine. A deeper mystery. What could possibly be hidden inside that simple music box that would drive Karen to such desperate lengths? "So what are you saying?" I asked, leaning forward in my chair. "That the music box is more than just a sentimental keepsake?" The detective nodded, his brow furrowed in concentration. "That's exactly what I'm saying. There's something about this case that just doesn't add up." He reached into a folder on the table, pulling out a grainy photograph. "Take a look at this." I examined the image, which showed the music box in question. A delicate, antique-looking piece with intricate carvings. What am I supposed to be looking for? "Notice anything unusual about the design?" the detective prompted. I studied the photograph more closely, running my fingers over the image. Suddenly, it clicked. Wait a minute. Those carvings, they look like some kind of code or cipher. The detective nodded, a slight smile tugging at the corners of his mouth. "Exactly. Our forensics team has been analyzing the box, and they believe those carvings could be some kind of hidden message or encryption." He leaned back in his chair, his eyes narrowing. "Which begs the question. What kind of secrets could this music box be hiding?" I felt my heart racing, the pieces of the puzzle slowly coming together. "So you think Karen knew about this, and that's why she was so desperate to get the box back?" "It's the only explanation that makes sense," the detective replied. "This wasn't just some random package theft. There's something much bigger going on here." He paused, fixing me with a piercing stare. "And I have a feeling you're about to get caught up in the middle of it, whether you like it or not." I swallowed hard, a mix of fear and curiosity swirling within me. What kind of secrets could this music box hold? And more importantly, what was I about to get myself into? One thing was certain. I couldn't walk away from this now. I had to know the truth. The detective's words echoed in my mind as I made my way to the police station the next day. I couldn't shake the feeling that I was about to get caught up in something much bigger than I ever could have imagined. As I stepped through the front doors, I was immediately ushered into a small, nondescript office. The detective from the previous day was there, along with 2 other officers. "Thank you for coming, Mr. Donovan," the detective said, his tone serious. "We have some new developments in the case that we think you should be aware of." He gestured to one of the other officers, who stepped forward holding a small wooden box. This is the music box that was stolen by Karen Simmons. Our forensics team has been studying it extensively, and they've made some interesting discoveries. The officer carefully opened the box, revealing the intricate, carved exterior. As we suspected, the carvings on the surface appeared to be some kind of coded message or cipher. We've been working to decipher it, but so far we haven't had much success. The detective leaned forward, his eyes intense. However, that's not the only unusual thing about this music box. Our analysis also revealed that it contains a hidden compartment, one that was expertly concealed. My heart began to race as I leaned in, staring at the delicate, antique object. A hidden compartment. What could be inside? The detective shook his head. That's what we're trying to find out. But given the lengths that Karen went to in order to retrieve this music box, we have a feeling it contains something very valuable or potentially very dangerous. He paused, fixing me with a serious gaze. And that's where you come in, Mr. Donovan. We believe you may have some insight into this case that could prove invaluable. I felt a mix of trepidation and curiosity swirling within me. What could possibly be hidden inside that music box? And why was I, of all people, being drawn into this mystery? Somehow, I knew that the answer to those questions was about to change my life forever. I stared at the detective, my mind racing with questions. What do you mean, I have insight into this case? I'm just a regular guy who happened to spot Karen stealing a package. That's it. The detective leaned back in his chair, a thoughtful expression on his face. That may be true, but the fact is, you've been more involved in this than anyone else. You're the one who alerted the postal inspectors, and you're the one who's been asking the right questions. He paused, his gaze intense. We believe Karen Simmons was after something much more valuable than just a simple music box, and we think you might be the key to unlocking the secrets it contains. I felt a chill run down my spine. You want me to help you. How exactly? The detective slid the music box across the table towards me. We need you to take a closer look at this box, see if you can spot anything we might have missed. There's something hidden inside, and we need to find out what it is, before Karen or anyone else gets their hands on it. I stared at the delicate, ornate box, my heart pounding. But what if it's dangerous? What if opening this thing puts me in harm's way? The detective's expression hardened. Mr. Donovan, I'm not going to lie to you. This could be a risky proposition. But the alternative is letting Karen or some other nefarious party get their hands on whatever secrets this music box is hiding. And that's not an option. He leaned forward, his eyes burning with intensity. You're the only one who can help us, Alex. You're the only one who's been involved in this from the beginning. We need your help to get to the bottom of this. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. I knew I should walk away, that I had no business getting involved in something this dangerous. But something deep inside me couldn't let it go. I reached out and gently picked up the music box, feeling the weight of it in my hands. All right, I said, my voice steady. Let's see what secrets this thing is hiding. As I began to carefully examine the box, I knew I was about to embark on a journey that would change my life forever. Whatever was hidden inside, I was determined to uncover the truth, no matter the cost.